All right, back again with another vinyl finds here for you. So for those of you who are just tuning in,
welcome.
Welcome, coming at you in full blazing HD. So, as I kind of mentioned in the last vinyl finds, I sort of had what's the word? The hotline. You know, when the record store owner says, "Hey, you probably want to come this weekend because I'm putting out some good stuff." You listen, right?
Mark does.
And you have anxiety all weekend because you don't get there right away. Anyhow, so I got some awesome records today. These were, usually spending a little bit more than what I normally do. I had kind of, like I said, sort of the inside scoop on a few of these. So, shall we? Yes. Let's
Sure.
have at it. So, first one I got, this is from 1970. This is David Peel and the Lower East Side, The American Revolution. I believe this is his second album. The first album, Have a Marijuana, also on the Elektra label. This is it's really exciting to find this. Usually, David Peel's albums usually get, hey, there's a Christmas tree. Merry Christmas. Usually, this is on of course, the Red E. David Peel's albums usually get, kind of panned by critics. I like them for what they are, which is a period piece, sort of, basically. Definitely shows of a different time. And, like I said, it's on the Elektra label, so Elektra in the late 60s, early 70s just put out some fantastic artists, just really, really taking chances with a lot of the musicians that they had. So kind of a, exciting little find there for that one. Here's one. This is on Liberty. This is Paul Massey. This one is called Motels and Stations. A little while ago, I showed Paul Massey with Butterfield Lake. I don't know if this one is before or after. Well, obviously it's after because there it is there. So live without a net, folks. But it's Liberty Records. So I would assume that it has sort of the Wrecking Crew as some of the backing group on it. Sort of pop psych. Big fan of that kind of stuff. So. Here's one that you don't really see. It's from 1972. This is Brinsley Schwartz. I believe this is Silver Pistol. Look at those eyebrows, indeed. Look at that eyebrow. One eyebrow on Brinsley Schwartz there. In a way, Brinsley Schwartz, they're European musicians. Nick Lowe was in the group. And trying to think of what the best way to say it. Sort of the pub rock genre that Elvis Costello's early albums, these guys definitely defined that type of music, kind of, pub rock. I mean, there's really no other way to kind of describe it, but I believe they're all European. I don't know this album specifically, but kind of failed musicians of sorts, so nothing amazing here, but just, interesting finds that you don't really see too often, so I was excited to pick that up. Do you want to show one of yours?
Oh, sure.
Let's start with that one.
Okay.
So this is, who's the name of the artist here? Juan Kapre?
Juan Kapre. But I think these other fellows are also in the group, perhaps. I'm having a really hard time finding anything about it online. This is all in Spanish, but
it's French
pressing, so there's French on it too. I can't speak French. I can speak some Spanish, but it's really cool. If you've ever heard of Alcu Valenza, I think there's some similarities between these two. Also, you guys know I'm a fan of the Incredible String Band. A lot of the songs sound really kind of folky and experimental, so I'm excited to listen to more of this. But again, Chile Canto a la Mano.
It's one of those things that you kind of see it at the record store and take it over to the listening station and do it. One thing that's kind of weird about like a lot of international music, it's kind of, Sam and I try to stay away from, I would say what we would kind of describe as traditional music. So in a way, that's kind of.
Well, we don't try to stay away from it,
but
we're not going to put on a mariachi album.
Exactly.
Really enjoy that.
So.
So I think this is from what I found online. But
after. Where's what review again? He gave us the mariachi. Oh. We will listen to that.
Oh,
we don't, no offense there, but
that's a silly.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't.
But I say the very very traditional stuff is kind of sometimes it's a little hard to get into. So we definitely like the Western influence on some of it,
or just things that are kind of breaking away from what is traditionally popular in that area. So
all right, next one here. It's a reissue, but very excited to welcome this into the collection. This is Silver Apples. I know some of the people. This is not the original, but it's one of those, like, some of these reissues I see, just really heavy duty vinyl. Obviously 180 gram, but it's on the Cap Records. It's a great album. If you've never heard of Silver Apples, I think Derek did a Psychedelicatessen about it, but this is some out there stuff. Just great. Words can't describe it. Just go listen to it. It will change your life. So just really good stuff. 1968 right there. Here's another one here. How did we decide we were going to pronounce this? Jame. I don't know.
Sure.
This came out on the Dunhill label. For fans of psychedelic pop, this guy, it's really good, sort of kind of Beatles-esque. Came out in 1970, produced by John Phillips. Mums and the Papas, and Jim Gordon's on it. So you have the Jim Gordon, the Derek and the Dominoes kind of thing. And it's on Dunhill, but it's called the Warlock label. I don't know, which apparently is maybe some subsidiary of the Dunhill label. I was not familiar with this, but pretty cool stuff here. Very excited to find this. Alrighty, what do we got here? How about you show the next one here? Sam is a huge fan of this stuff. Unicorn by Tyrannosaurus Rex. This came out, I believe, in 1969. This one is on Blue Thumb. Available on 4 and 8-track stereo, reel-to-reel tape, and cassette. But
many options.
Many options here. One thing about this particular album was this was a kind of bridged, the T-Rex and the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Most of it is, there's a few things on here where Mark Bolan starts playing electric guitar. And then what's the name of the guy again? Steve Peregrine Took, which Sam just told me. So go ahead and tell me the story about it.
So I looked at the name and I go, Steve Peregrine Took. Do you know that guy? Because Peregrine Took is a character in Lord of the Rings. Pippin, the Hobbit. Pippin Took.
Books. I don't read books. So.
I saw that on, interesting.
You read well.
I like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I've never read Lord of the Rings, the books. So
nothing wrong.
If it wasn't for Batman, I wouldn't know how to read. So.
Okay.
But anyhow, this album sort of bridged the the kind of the glam, and the psychedelic folk of Tyrannosaurus Rex. You never see this one. You never see it. So when you see it, you gotta buy it. But Mark Bolan, like I said, kind of starts playing electric guitar. Steve Peregrine Took starts instead of playing
his real name.
Instead of playing bongos, he plays like a full drum kit on here too. So interesting, very interesting stuff. So did you show the inside of it?
I didn't. There's some unicorns in there.
Unicorns.
Magical.
So great stuff there.
I want to hold it.
She wants to hold it. Here's just a really far out, kind of one of those ones that I was telling Sam, we kind of went through and we kind of knew what was going on. So it was sort of one of those things where we just started pulling records. If we didn't even know what it was, we just took it and then we went and listened to it. That would be my suggestion for anybody that's, if you're record shopping with a bunch of people around, don't leave it in there and then go back. I've been burned a couple of times doing that. You know what I mean? Just leave it and go shopping elsewhere and then come back to it. Just take it out of there. And if you don't like it, then you can put it back. But this was one of the ones I dropped the needle down on it. Just sort of, I don't start it at the beginning of the record. I sort of put it in the middle of the record. And then I kind of, give it a little bit of a listen. And usually based on the first couple of seconds, it's kind of like, all right, I can get into that. Or, move it to the next one and so on and so forth. So I put this on. The headphones, like whoever was at the the place before me had the the friggin' volume up was like the entire way, and it's just this guy just letting off just a stream of obscenities, and it's Sweet Pie and this one is called Pleasure Pudding. Cover the children's eyes at home. But this is on ESP, which I was like, you know what? As soon as I heard that, and just that couple seconds, I was just like, sold. So just really far out, just craziness, just very, I can't even describe it.
Spoken word.
Yeah, it's just,
Kind of.
it's a guy playing a piano, another guy playing a harmonica. Just, you know, really can't find too much about these guys.
Show the back thing.
Oh yeah, there's some sort of weird comic there, but again, it was on the ESP label, and it's very heavy vinyl. So I figured, yeah, it's not something you're gonna find too often. So I, you know, went ahead and pulled the trigger on it. So I got 2 more Sam guys, 1 more. So I'll show this one. This is really awesome. This is the group Quake, which it's not a band, but it's actually like a compilation of all these psychedelic bands that were on, you know, I would say psych rock bands that were on the RCA label. So we have the Youngbloods, which, you know, not necessarily psychedelic, but, you know, you get it. The Status Symbol, Auto Salvage, Stone Country, The Family Tree, Group Therapy, The Loading Zone, and Joyful Noise. And it's just, you know, here's what all of the rapping's about. And this is really cool. This is actually, and I can actually hold this up here now that we're in high definition. There you go. It's a DJ.
Wow, look at that.
Isn't that fantastic? And it's on like a black RCA Victor label, and it's just, you know, this is something that would be handed out to the radio stations just to kind of, you know, promote some of the groups that are on here. So very cool stuff. I'm very excited to have that. So we can go ahead and show this. Here's another one we've been looking for a while. You know, Sam, as she said, big fan of these guys, the Incredible String Band. This one's from. Here, look, you got here you go. Let me help you. You got to tilt a little. You know, you got to tilt a little bit. There you go. You tilt it so that there's no reflection on it. The Incredible String Band, the Wee Tam. This came out in 1968. She's been lusting over this album for quite some time. But just you know, she's a big fan of the Incredible String Band, and if you, yeah, it's original.
Shiny and beautiful as name it is.
Yeah, it's a red label, Electra. So we got some pretty good stuff. You want to put that back in there? Oh, you need a sleeve for that. So very cool stuff. And then last but not least, as some of you know, this is where it this is where it gets heavy, folks. But this is a copy of Elephant Candy, Fun and Games. You know, just a fantastic slab of bubblegum psych for your enjoyment. As I kind of had mentioned, you know, when I'm stuck in traffic and, you know, the world's got me down and I'm all upset and angry about things, I like to listen to this.
Elephant Candy.
I like to listen to stuff. This is on the Uni label. What's really cool about this, and I mean, I'm sure it's just there's not anything special about it, but here's the one side of the label, and then the B side ain't got nothing on it. So I think that's probably some sort of a misprint. Maybe they didn't have the second side finished, but Elephant Candy is on the second side. So I would assume if they, you know,
is there a groove in that side?
Oh yeah, I didn't even look. Yeah, there's definitely grooves in it. So
well, that's important.
So there you go. I thought it was very cool. I've never seen the label with nothing on it. So I, you know, scan that in and I'll make my own labels with it. But there you have it. Just a fantastic vinyl finds for you. So I don't know if there will be anything else between now and Christmas, but we do have some cool stuff planned in the interim that you will probably see. So
any more
vinyl?
record
I don't think there's going to be any more vinyl finds. We'll see. I don't, you know, but I just wanted to kind of say, you know, thanks for, you know, as we roll into the holidays here in the new year. You know, big thanks to all the subscribers, all of the, you know, the VC members, the, you know, that have just made this year pretty fantastic. So met a lot of new people, met a lot of friends that are, you know, probably gonna be friends for a long time, I'm assuming. But yeah, good stuff all around. So we'll see you, and if we don't see you before now, you know, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you do out there. So. We'll see you on down the trail.
Christmas Carol.
We're not going to sing Christmas Carol. We're going to stop the video right now.